How do you deal with anxiety? How do you deal with uncertainty? How do you deal with your mind? Breathing is the pill for what is going on.
You are a spiritual guru, you master of mental health.
Life constantly has ups and downs. It is kind of like what Sri Ravi Shankar Gurudev says. It's like a global war.
Welcome to the show, Rajshree ji. Thank you so much for joining Fab Life 360 and Ruckus Avenue Radio. Welcome back, rather, right?
Yes, very happy to be here. I was where you are sitting in that room a year ago, isn't it?
Exactly. You were at this spot and I was on your right.
Yeah.
So never imagined that we'll be recording a year later under completely different set of circumstances like this.
That's right. Yeah. The world has certainly changed. I mean, it's always changing. It's just a little more apparent, I guess.
Yeah, it is too apparent. Yeah, so let's just dive in. Since you are a spiritual guru, you are, master of mental health, peace, calming ourselves down through different tools and techniques that you have been teaching all around the world. And I guess you all must be thinking that all these years were leading to this moment. You were preparing us with all the tools and techniques so that we could cope today. But if people don't know, tell us how to calm our anxiety and stress with the surroundings.
I think that's a very interesting way to put it. Have we been preparing for this? I suppose it's a very interesting way that you ask the question. We don't really realize it. Life constantly has its ups and downs, the uncertainty, the unexpected that creates anxiety, whether it's about health of oneself or family, even if it's not COVID, right? Just generally speaking, or education and finance and business and all the different things that go on in life. It brings uncertainty and it brings anxiety. I think the difference between what's going on now and what normally went on is this is a heightened state and it's global. It's not just me and myself and my family going through this, but it doesn't matter where you look, rich, poor, tall, short, India, US, Germany, it just doesn't matter. We are all under the same uncertainty. It is kind of like what Sri Ravi Shankar Gurudev says. It's like a global war, meaning everybody in the world is under the same circumstance. And the truth is, the answer is the same. How do you deal with anxiety? How do you deal with uncertainty? How do you deal with your mind? How do you deal with the extreme anxiety that's going on today? You have to address your mind. You have to know how to handle your emotions. And it's an age-old answer, particularly for us, right? Coming from India, it's about meditation and breathing, and what I particularly have been teaching through the Art of Living Foundation, which is the happiness program or Sudarshan Kriya. And that is the answer, looking in yourself.
As we cannot go out, we can go inwards.
That's right. That's right. There's no other place to go.
So, tell me a little bit about the happiness program. And of course, you have workshops and your Art of Living centers around the world. And now everything has moved online. So I assume these courses are online. And what I understand that these courses are like phenomenal online and people are doing so many more just because they're online, they're easy, they're available, and they need it. So what's the structure like what do you expect in happiness course? How many hours and give us the whole deal.
First of all, it's what you said. It's the convenience of your own home. It is really how you go in, how you address the stress and strain and pressures and burdens of life that are going on in everybody's life. It's very simple. It's 3 days, 3 hours each. You're guided by an instructor. In fact, I'm conducting one right now as we speak. You know, I told you earlier on the phone that I started on Friday, today's Saturday, and then I have tomorrow and Monday. You get an experience. It is a way to dump, to release the anxiety, the pressure, the stress. Very simple techniques that anybody can do. It uses your breath. It doesn't require focus. It doesn't require concentration. You don't have to know how to empty the mind. All you have to do is go through the breath, the technique, and a particular way that we guide you to. And what you find is, instead of our head getting stuck in what should have, would have, could have been about yesterday, about tomorrow, you find that you're fresh in the present moment, energized, alive, feeling vibrant. And what's very important right now is breathing is one of the best ways to increase our immune response, immune system. We, number one, clear out our lungs so nothing really sticks. There's a lot of conversation going on right now about how breathing is the pill for what is going on. It's the best, the fastest way to strengthen immunity, to fight off all the things that we don't need, and simultaneously get rest, get calm, get rejuvenated.
And the interesting things about the happiness course that you have and the Sahaj course and the silent courses is that you can always repeat it anytime from any part of the world with any teacher. Earlier, we were restricted to the location. Now I was just thinking when you said that you are teaching right now, I'm like, damn, I missed it by 2 days. I could have enrolled in your class Friday.
Next one, you have to join on the next one for sure.
And when is that?
I don't have the dates fixed, but if you go to by Rajshree, my handle for social media, it's Facebook, Instagram, again, by Rajshree. I post any program that's coming up, but really the simplest is, if you go to Art of Living website, artofliving.org, as you said, there are global programs. You just need to find the one that works for you and slide in. That's it.
So 3 hours, 3 days, and you teach us certain technique of breathing exercises called Sudarshan Kriya, which I did it. And it's only for the help of the listeners and our viewers. I want to say that Kriya is something that needs to be taught by a certified Art of Living teacher. It's not something, I mean, of course, we can do our deep breaths ourselves. We can do nostril breathing and, but Kriya is certain specific that needs to be learned with the teacher. So there is no compromise or adjustment there in case anyone has a doubt. So, and then it becomes part of the system. Once you learn it for life, and you can always keep taking refresher course whenever you feel like. So that's about the happiness course. Guys, check out on artofliving.org. Check with your local centers. When is the next course starting? Due to COVID, courses are happening at several locations all the time. And all you have to do is click on Zoom. And now I want to ask you how to develop patience and how to develop faith during this time.
Actually, if you don't have faith during these times, you're never going to have faith. Look, having faith when everything is going well is not faith anymore, right? It's when you're in challenging times, you have to have the ability to trust that I'm going to get through this. Just flip back into life and you'll see, okay, COVID has not happened before, but every time anyone goes through a challenge, it's not that they're expecting it necessarily. There's a challenge and we rise to the occasion. So the way to have faith is to know I have been through many challenges before. I will get through this. And there is a bigger source, a bigger power at play than just me. Imagine this little thing that no one can see has brought us to suddenly reinvent ourselves, to suddenly reprioritize, to suddenly think about what matters most. Just go back like 4 months ago, let's say March, April, anyone would have traded their Gucci bag, their fancy Louis Vuitton, for a toilet paper or for a hand sanitizer. Nothing is fixed. These are the moments to really have faith, to look back and to say, I will get through this. And the truth is, if you have your perception, your mind in the place that you want it to be, that's how you build resilience. That's how you build patience. That's how you manage to get through the difficult times.
So that's the aspect of faith. Then the aspect of patience is slightly different. Especially, and they excuse themselves by saying, oh, we are social animals. We are supposed to meet people and we are supposed to, it's energizing and uplifting. We feel good. For our mental health, we need to meet people. So what do we have to say for people to tell them, please hang in at home and be patient. If you survive this, you have all your life to hang out.
Well, at some level, I understand what they're saying, right? We have spent our whole life busy, engaged, either on our cell phone or our computer or someone on the phone or someone in person, in a restaurant, in an office, at home. We're constantly used to distracting ourselves. It's very rare that you find people who spend time with themselves, who have spent time building relationship and connection with who they are. It's a very rare thing. It doesn't happen so easily. And to whatever degree it is true, we are social. Human beings need to connect. They do connect. It's important. But in these moments, as you said, you have to have farsight, right? We need to look a little bit further. And when you cannot be out because you're looking with a long vision or long-term vision, these are the times to say, let me see, what can I learn and develop within myself? These are the times to go on, some internet and learn another language, or as Sri often says, it's time for men to cook so women can enjoy, and to cook with your children and your teenagers because they are also getting restless with their gadgets. What can you do? They're looking. This is the time to create greater, deeper bonds with friends and family in other ways and actually show up fully, not just blah, blah, blah and distract ourselves, but to really listen to their concern. What can I do for you is the question to be asked in order to get more patient with ourselves.
How to stay resilient and how to keep your family resilient.
If all our focus is on ourselves, me, my kids, oh my God, if we operate from this place, we notice that fear, anxiety, uncertainty takes over our mind. But if we show up for someone else, what I often tell people is, go down your BlackBerry or your iPhone and see, are there people that you haven't spoken to for quite some time? Call them, connect with them, say, hey, how are you going through this? What's happening with you? Then you see that you will create genuine connections where you give that person an opportunity to share, where you listen, perhaps you share a little bit, and that up-levels both life. But the moment you up-level your life, you are more resilient, you have more stamina, you have more hope, you have more confidence to say, okay, it's not so bad. Let's see what happens tomorrow.
That's interesting what you just said, because just a few weeks back, I wrote a little poem and something like that it ends with. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of read it at the end of the show for our listeners as well. I had posted on our social media and I'll share the text with you. I think you'll like it. It was interesting that how you just said that was already there. Please. So, and another thing, Rajshree, I want to ask you is, and I experienced that, and many people have told me this, that they are experiencing this. Yeah, see, I think that's where a slight gap is. We are all in this together, but not all of us are experiencing exactly same thing. Repercussions are different. Some have experienced huge financial setbacks. Some have in their families, some have personally, some have actually got sick, have lost family members. So how do we make them connect to the world, but still, I'm trying to ask is like, how do people become more understanding and compassionate towards we are in this together, but still everybody is different?
Someone has lost someone is getting sick, someone is having a financial trouble, someone is just isolated in a house and they don't know what to do. I was speaking to someone today, right? She left India, she's trapped somewhere for several months, she hasn't been home, she cannot get home. Everyone in their own way is going through their own challenge. Some more, some less. What is it that we can do? We can pray for someone, we can understand through someone else, we can offer our ears. That's as much as we can do. And the more you connect with people, that's what I'm saying, reach out to people, perhaps it's one way we help them and ourselves.
Would love it if you click on the like and subscribe button below. I bring positive stories from celebrities and philanthropists from around the world, and stay updated with all things fab on my Fab Life 360 Instagram page. Also, if you are looking for something fun and inspiring to listen to, find my podcast Fab Life 360 on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast.